Welcome to Average Joe's Fantasy Sports Podcast, where we bring you news, notes, and more to help you win your championship fantasy football league. Stay tuned and listen in for the great information we have for you today.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Average Joe's Fantasy Sports Podcast, where today we are doing the Week 11 recaps. We're going to give you 8 games today and do the rest tomorrow. So
Week 12, isn't it?
Is it Week 12?
Pretty sure it is.
Oh, let me know what's right.
Because next week's week 13.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
We're doing the Week 12
My bad,
recaps.
guys. My bad.
You know, for anybody holding on to playoff hopes, maybe we'll just land the people that you should be starting, aka Alvin Kamara, basically every week.
Yo, we'll get to him.
We'll get to him,
We'll
but
get to
I'm
him,
saying,
but
ridiculousness, carrying my team.
that
Promise
guy,
things.
something else right now. Something else.
He's on levels beyond, for real. It's crazy.
Really.
It is. So, we'll start with Thursday games.
Why
We have
not?
3 of them.
I hope you guys had a good Thanksgiving, because we know
Yeah,
we did.
I hope we did. Yeah,
So,
that's awesome.
Yeah. Enjoyed that dinner with the family and all that, but
Or if you went to a trip somewhere.
trip somewhere.
Yep, yeah. Enjoy nature or, trip to the sea, wherever you were at. Hopefully you had a good time.
Get away from home.
Let's start with the Lions side of things.
Alright.
Matt Stafford, baby. Kind of a letdown. Probably didn't kill your team, but didn't help you out either.
No. I mean, he could have done better if it came down to it, but I mean, they had a pretty slow start on their.
What are them stats?
Oh, you want to see them stats?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Let's go to Matthew Stafford. He's a little low down there because he's at 14 that he gave you. Let's see. Ooh, he's not even on the first list
He wouldn't be.
on ESPN.
250 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 INT, and a fumble. 14 fantasy points, nothing great. But it's still enough to get Marvin Jones somewhere, who had 6 receptions and 9 targets, 109 yards, and 2 receiving touchdowns.
He definitely balled out for me.
He did.
Both my
Took
leagues.
away from everybody else, still Golden Tate with only 6 points. Kenny Galladay got involved with 8 points. But no one else really worried about, no one else really care about, honestly. I mean, there could be a future in Galladay, but that's more for us next year. Amir Abdullah, you're not going to start him anymore. I mean, he's just not been shown good matchups. He hasn't done anything. So, no plus lineup there as far as, like, the offensive line. So, it's just not going to work out. You just go to the scoreboards.
You could go to the scoreboards, right?
I thought you were going crazy. Now let's go to the Vikings. Case Keenum, 282 yards, 2 touchdowns, 20 rushing yards, 1 rushing touchdown. He's been balling.
He helped me tremendously.
Balling on all kinds of levels. 27.3 fantasy points.
Tremendously.
Ridiculous. Now he's been playing very good football. He's been helping support the Vikings. He's been more than just a game manager. Most of the time he's sending shots downfield to Thielen, to Diggs. I mean,
he's got that lineup. That's why, because I mean, your second highest scorer on Minnesota on that game was Kyle Rudolph. He gave you 4 targets, caught all of them for 63 yards and 2 touchdowns. Gave you 22.5 fantasy points, so he's been showing up pretty good for the team. Coming out strong as a tight end. He's been looked at. Case Keenum does love all of his weapons to see down the line. You have Adam Thielen, that I think in this game he actually hit over 1,000 receiving yards in the season so far. So that's his first time ever. And he got 11 targets, caught 8 of them for 89 yards, but no touchdown. But hey, I mean, that's still good. Gives you 16, almost 17 fantasy points, so helps you out in the long run, that's for sure. Latavius Murray showed up a little bit. He came out strong. Rushed for 20, times for 84 yards and a touchdown. So that definitely got you some good points from Latavius Murray. He's obviously liking where he's at. Doesn't miss Oakland. It's okay. I feel a little sad about it. But Stephon Diggs also showed up. Got you 12.5 fantasy points. Receiving end, he was targeted 7 times for 5 catches and 66 yards. And looks like he actually rushed. He rushed 1 time for 9 yards. So, give you some extra points. Not bad. Not bad. But that lineup right there, that you have 5 good, easy players that you can, if you have them, got you really good points that game.
Good enough, baby. Good enough.
It was good enough. So,
L.A., Dallas. Boom, boom, boom.
What can you say about Phillip Rivers right now? You dropped him, right?
Yes, I want to say something about Dallas first.
Okay, go ahead.
I like to get these worst teams out of the way because I got some good things to say about the Chargers.
True.
So here we go. Hold on one second. Don't yell.
Oh.
Someone
else is messing up, not me.
Yeah. It's called Microsoft Edge, the worst browser ever.
I'm currently on that too.
This browser's terrible.
Alright.
I would say I'm sorry, Microsoft, but here's the thing. I'm not sorry. Everything y'all do is doo-doo.
Yep. Doo-doo.
But, getting back to it here. There we go. Reestablished myself. Dak Prescott, 179 yards, 2 interceptions. The normal fails for the last 3 games. If you started him, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you didn't learn more so than anything, but I am sorry. I mean, without Zeke, even with what's his name, Rod Smith or whatever.
The left tackle.
Yeah, even with him back though, it didn't even matter because Dak still had no time from the other guards to be able to do anything. Never.
Well, he did do 20 of 27, but
that's a low when you're playing from behind.
Yeah, because it shows that he only has 2 interceptions.
That means they have good clock management too over on the Chargers side of things. So
the Chargers have been showing up the last couple of days.
Yeah, they've been playing well. It has been that way, yes. Now going down to Des Bryant, it's kind of hard to start him. 3 of 30, first 37. I mean, you have no faith in the passing game because if Dak can't play, then all the other receivers take a hit. And then, as well as the run game, it takes a hit. Although Rod Smith got the 1 rushing touchdown, it just was subpar performance overall.
Rod Smith took over, so there's no Darren McFadden. He got tossed, and then Alfred Morris should have stayed in Washington.
Yeah, Washington could actually use him now. Shoot,
well,
he got so many injuries, but
he wanted the money apparently. So
yeah, dollar bills, y'all. Don't fold it, man.
Dollar bills,
He's getting paid. You know what I'm saying? But then let's go over to the Chargers side now, the good side. Phillip Rivers, balling, 434 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Right.
I did drop him, and he started showing out. Him and Keenan Allen both started showing out. It's wild.
It's insane.
It's kind of like the whole, what's his face? Their faces. Ben Roethlisberger and Antonio Brown, their combos have been coming together.
Yeah, they are. They're definitely coming
together. The number ones are getting found by the quarterbacks finally, Rob Gronkowski and Tom Brady this past weekend. Julio Jones, Matt Ryan, a little bit of Sanu mixed in there. So
a little bit of Sanu.
The number ones, I think that what they're doing now for anybody who's been kind of like let down by some of their number 1 receivers or number 1 tight ends and whoever else. Well, the situation I've been seeing is they've been holding their star players back and not putting so much work early in the season to help them push through the final stretch and get ready and stay healthy for playoffs and things like that. And the crucial games at the end of the year. They've been trying to win games without putting so much weight on those guys to now use them at the end. So they're still a little more fresh.
Well, I see that working out pretty well for the Chargers if that continues to keep going because Keenan Allen's finally getting all those targets.
It works better when you can actually win the games, though.
It's true.
That's where the difference is.
But a 28-6, I believe that's a steady win. That's a good win right there.
It is.
But you got Hunter Henry showing up now.
Yes, he is.
Caught all of his targets of 5 targets for 76 yards and a touchdown. Gave you 18.5 fantasy points. Not bad whatsoever. Tyrell Williams. Got 3 targets. Caught 2 of them, 58 yards and a touchdown. About 14 points. And then Melvin Gordon. Would have liked to see a little bit more. 21 rushes, 65 yards. But he was in the receiving game. Caught all 3 of his targets for 23 yards. Still gave you about 12 fantasy points.
You talking about Keenan?
Nope, talk about Melvin.
Good, because I'm about to talk about Keenan.
Okay, good.
11 receptions on 14 targets. Another high double-digit target game for Keenan.
Yep.
172 yards and a score to go along with his 2-score effort last week.
So how does that make you feel that you actually put him in this week? As the light shines down. Yep.
Amazing.
Yep.
Because it's going to help me get a win this week against Corey.
Sorry, Corey,
because I'm fighting for the playoffs.
Yep.
So, hey, I'm happy about that. I'm happy to see the Chargers stepping up, playing some good ball.
Oh, and Austin Eckler. For real, guys.
Still getting work.
For real. If he's still on your waiver wires or your free agency, definitely look him up because he's been getting targeted a lot the last couple weeks. He rushed only 6 times though for 15 yards. Not very well. But he's kind of like a Chris Thompson. He's kind of like, I don't know, like a Marshawn Lynch because they actually used him this week. But it's one of those wideout kind of running backs. 3 for 3 in the receiving game for 55 yards. Still gave you 10 fantasy points. That's a lot compared to some actual wide receivers that didn't give you anything. So
work, baby. Put in work.
Definitely look them up. And the Chargers are on a winning streak.
Yeah.
And they're striving to get more wins. So
playoff opportunities to open in that division.
Look them up for sure, exactly. Because they might, like I said, they might take over that division. If Kansas City keeps losing,
they do.
Because they did again. We'll get to that.
Kansas City is struggling. Oakland's struggling.
We are. Oakland is struggling. We'll get to that one too, because that one got me a little heated. So
the division's open. So now, here we go. Let's go to the night game. Giants, Redskins. Let's start with the Giants. Everybody on here is garbage. That is basically how you just analyze that.
I did not know that.
You do now.
Oh.
Orleans Darkwa, 30 rush yards, 1 reception for 9 yards. Doo-doo. Roger Lewis, 3 for 26. I mean, with Eli Manning going, 113 yards and a pick, that doesn't do you any good on 13 of 27. So not only did he not get a lot of shots, he didn't even complete a lot of those shots.
As soon as he sees a defender in a different jersey come after him, he turns his back. Yeah. So he's not going to accurately throw without getting hit. No double-digit fantasy pointers on that team.
All I gotta say is, you're not counting on them in the playoffs. I mean, you just can't. You can't count on any of them. Even Evan Ingram now, the way that they've been playing, you just can't rely on them.
Did they miss Sterling Shepard and Odell. That is some tough stuff there in New York, but you guys will get the easy draft pick. So
quarterback. There's lots of them coming out in this draft. Tons of them. Pick one.
Right.
Maybe one will pan out, or maybe they'll get a Blake Bortles or Blaine Gabbert. Who knows? But now we'll go down to the Redskins side. Kirk Cousins, he did play well. 19 of 31, 242, 2 touchdowns with a pick involved, but obviously got through with the win, so you'll take that.
Take it any day.
Exactly. I mean, they're trying to make their way through and trying to establish themselves in the NFC, but it's hard because the NFC is tough tough spot to be in.
Right.
Tough division with the Eagles just ready to show. So, but Kirk Cousins still playing well. Samaje Perine with 24 rushes, 100 yards. You're not mad about that. I mean, you got your 10 fantasy points. So, I mean,
he's the only guy. So.
He is really so. But
let me talk about this guy. This guy, I have him in both leagues, just like Marvin Jones.
Go ahead.
And he
Finally.
helped me.
Finally, he's showing up like you're supposed to at the beginning of the year.
Exactly. Mr. Jamison Crowder. 10 targets. Caught 7 of them. 141 yards and 1 touch. Gave you 27 fantasy points. That, my friend, that's a good guy right there. That's a good guy to have on your team. Especially with Kirk Cousins going the way he's going, so. Always look up the matches, too. The reason why I put Jameson in is because of the matchup. Giants, not so well. So, that's why I put him in. And I'm probably going to put him in next week anyway, so it don't matter.
Yeah, you
Gotta
will.
get them wins.
Yeah, you will. Now, another person who's been off and on getting loose, but is not the number one. It's basically the number 2. That was Josh Dawson. He gets a touchdown, only 4 targets, 28 yards in the score, but they talked about him being the up guy, and James McCall started stepping up, so now he's the number 2. So,
what you're not mad about? You just like to see a little bit more on both sides.
a little more. So let's move down. Tennessee, Indianapolis. Fantasy value on both sides is pretty bleak for the most part. You have Marcus Mariota, who, only had 184 passing yards on 17 to 25 attempts. Really low attempts in some of these games. 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. But Jacoby Brissett wasn't much better. 17 and 29, 196, 0-0, and losing fumbles. So quarterback play in this one didn't really take you very far.
No.
You're kind of disappointed with that. DeMarco Murray did get involved. A rushing touchdown, and then 3 receptions on 4 targets and 33 yards. Not a lot going on, enough to get you, 13.2 points?
Yeah, but he rushed 12 times and only got 9 yards.
Excuse me.
That is negative.
At work. Yeah, I know, it is pretty garbage. It's very garbage. Derrick Henry actually looked good.
He did at the end, because I had him in, and he was at 0 through the first 3 quarters, and they finally used him in the 4th. I'm like, why?
Yeah, he was good, but he should have got that touchdown. The DeMarco got. They basically gave it to him. Derrick Henry did all the work for that touchdown, so that was dumb.
Well, yeah, that's how coaches coach, so it's pretty terrible out there.
But Delaney Walker's still the man. 4 receptions on 5 targets, 63 yards, and a receiving touchdown on a beautiful fade. The best pass Mario threw all night, and it was a nice fade. I'm telling you, man, there's not a lot of fantasy value here in Tennessee right now. So, if you're trying to rely on somebody, you can rely on Delaney maybe to get you through the playoffs, to help you. He's a good tight end. Other than that, there's not a lot of people to help you. This is final stretch time, If you don't have that first round bye on lock, you're fighting, so.
Very much so.
Yeah, now we'll go down to the Colts anyway. Frank Gore, 62 yards, 1 rushing touchdown. Did fairly well. I mean, it was a good run that he burst through the hole on a 15, 20 yard run somewhere in there. So it was really good. It was a really good run, good to see and everything like that. And shows why Marlon Mack won't get the shine he kind of deserved. I shouldn't say deserved, but could get as a rookie because Frank Gore will not go away. There's times where he looks old and beat down. There's times where he looked at that run, and crazy to the house. So
well, if Mac will just wait it out, he can get his turn once Frank Gore is gone. So
if Frank Gore will leave, Trickle down loves him.
Right.
Jack Doyle got involved again. 7 for 94 yards. He was catching all over the place too. He only missed 1 pass. He's all over. He's everywhere. It's incredible. It was very good to see.
Doyle rules.
Halfway through.
T.Y. has never been touched. It's bad.
Yeah, it's not good. I don't know how I feel. You should. his upsides could be higher, but now that Brissett's playing bad down to earth, you're better at benching him.
They need Andrew Luck so bad. They really do. That's tough. Tough to watch.
It is. And then an actual good game, for the most part, the Carolina New York Jets. So with Carolina, Cam Newton. Stat me, Scott.
Cam Newton, he can be your best friend when he is in a good mood and wins. He can be your worst enemy when he loses. He's currently questionable, but so is the whole lineup. He was only 11 for 28, 168 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. He rushed 9 times for 28 yards, but he did get you a touchdown.
Yep.
So
17.5 fantasy points.
Kind of saved you, yeah. It kind of saved you with the fantasy points. So.
Yep. 28 rushing yards helps out with that. Christian McCaffrey did pretty well on his own. 7 for 62, 8.9 yards per carry. Incredible. But did not score this game, but still got you 11 fantasy points. Now, Jonathan Stewart did score, and I think it was really some of the only work of the game because he had 15 rushes, 26 yards, and the touchdown. So terrible yard per carry. Absolutely terrible. But, you know, it is what it is, man. They still got the win. They still figured it out.
Yep.
Greg Olsen left this game for everybody who had him, picked him up. I think he just aggravated his foot, but we'll let you know on Wednesday what fully comes out of that. If it's going to keep him out for a longer period of time, I'm just going to put him on IR into the season or what. So
yeah, we'll give you the updates on that one for sure. Don't be too alarmed about it. With the reports right now, they say he's okay, but
yeah,
that's
it is precaution. It seems like.
Yeah.
But let's head down to the New York Jets and the people who balled out. Josh McCown, who played very good football, 19 on 36 attempts, 307 yards, and 3 touchdowns. 2 of them going to Robbie Anderson, who finished 6 receptions on 10 targets, 146 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
That's
balling with 32 fantasy points.
It was very nice.
In PPR scoring, so everybody knows.
Yep, it was very nice. Very nice to watch.
Except for when somebody left him on their bench. Trav. Also left Sanu down there.
But if you had Jermaine Kearse, boy, were you a little happy too, because he got involved. 7 of 11 targets, 105 yards, and 1 touch. Gave you 23.5 fantasy points.
Woo woo!
That's not bad.
The 1s and 2s, baby. It's basically only them, the 1s and 2s.
Yeah.
That's who McCown runs with. That's who he likes to throw it to. That's who he trusts. The running backs here, you don't trust. You forget about them. You move on from them. You just let them go away. Drop them. There's no one here to own. Will Powell, doo-doo. Elijah McGuire, doo-doo. Matt Forte, old doo-doo. Old doo-doo.
Garbage, man.
Buffalo, Kansas City. What up, dog? Tell me about your favorite team, Scott. Kansas City. Love them. You want to marry them.
You're funny. Alex Smith owners. Time to pick up Patrick Mahomes. What's that?
No. You crazy.
No, you have to.
You crazy.
I would be a little crazy, but I could see it coming anytime soon. So, Alex Smith gave you 13.5 fantasy points with 23 of 36, 199 yards, a touchdown, but 1 INT. He rushed 5 times for only 35 yards. Garbage. How can you do that starting off 5-0 and be that bad?
Doesn't make any sense.
It's crazy. Tyreek Hill gave you 12.5. He rushed actually 2 times for only 13 yards. 7 of 11 and 41 yards. But you'd like to see more, and also would like to see more on Travis Kelce.
This was the big letdown.
Travis Kelce.
Kareem Hunt. The biggest. The superstar to super bust. All in the same season.
Yes.
All in the same season.
It's crazy to see these stats right in front of me right now.
Yeah, 3.6. Before you'd be thinking 40, 30, 27, 40.
Getting people's wins left and right. You know, like seriously left and right. Just having him in. And then all of a sudden, 3.5 fantasy points? Like...
Where does offense even go?
And Buffalo is really... Yeah, Buffalo was really not that good on defense because they've been really up and down all season. And that's not good. And to even see Travis Kelce with only 7 fantasy points, only got targeted only 4 times in this game, caught 3 for 39. I mean,
crazy.
Travis Kelce is your basically number 1.
Right.
Compared to Tyreek Hill.
Who went 7 for 41.
Yeah. So, I don't know, man. I did not see this coming,
That's
but
crazy.
I'll take it because that's just one step closer for the Raiders to move up. So, which we'll get to that again.
Shady got involved. 11.9, basically 12 fantasy points. Only 49 rushing yards though. Didn't really do a lot of damage in the run game. Although it looked like he was doing on some good plays, but he went 22 rushes and 49 yards. Wildly inefficient. It was crazy.
Yes.
And then
This overall all was kind of a bad
it
game to
was
watch.
Zay Jones actually looked pretty good for the most part. 3 a touch. Yeah, he did. He looked good.
No Calvin Benjamin. That's basically why.
Yep. Jordan Matthews, nobody. Charles Clay went back to his role, 4 60. He's a good tight end too if you need one. So 10 fantasy points for him. House got 12 fantasy points. Not a lot going on in this game as far as the fantasy people that you need to carry you. We'll see come the future schedules. That's what I was going to look up too. Who plays who.
Truth. Yeah, because Jordan Matthews has been non-existent either. 3.5 fantasy points. 2 for 3. And with only 15 yards, man. Do you think he misses Philly right now? I feel like he misses Philly.
Nah, bro. You don't miss Philly.
I don't know, man. I feel like most of these teams, players, they just...
What you know about that? I know all about that. Logan 4-4, one low, one in Jesus. Rest off the jet. I've heard the rest of the song.
Okay. And did you know that Anquan Bolden and Reggie Bush are on the Buffalo Bills too?
Who are you talking about?
No? You didn't know that?
I had no idea, no.
You had no idea? I had no idea
I thought
either.
they retired.
They're on here. Offensive players. Anquan Bolden and Reggie Bush.
Is that just who they were last signed with?
Could be. But it's like...
Because Reggie Bush is commentating right now.
Is he?
Yeah.
Hmm.
He was just on the other day.
Interesting.
Is it? Is it interesting?
I mean, you could easily
Look
use
at all
this
these
guy.
plus players on this team. What? That's
Is that which one we're talking about right now?
Yeah, we are on to this one.
Oh, okay. Who do we want to start with?
The Bucks, because the Falcons had some sweetness to talk about. So, starting with Fitzmagic, who wasn't very magical. 283 passing yards, 20 rushing yards, 13.3 fantasy points, and 0 scores. I mean, I don't know what happened there. I don't understand.
44 attempts. I mean...
You can't get a touchdown on any of those. Ridiculous. Oh,
That's
Fitzmagic,
insane.
you ruined it for everybody. Peyton Barber got 2 rushing touchdowns on 5 carries or whatever it is, which is kind of weird. 5 carries, 70 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Oh,
That's insane.
gracious. He just got the goal line. They got down there, they didn't throw, they ran, and it worked out, I guess. You know, you can't hate on the results. But Doug Martin left this game with concussions. He might be out for a while. They should just... I don't know what they're going to do with him. He's definitely not going to be here next year, so we'll see what happens to that. Maybe they'll draft a running back or whatever. But Deshaun Jackson, 8 for 60, gets involved again, even with Mike Evans back in the lineup playing. Because Mike Evans also involved, 6 for 78. So both about 14 points for fantasy, but doesn't do you a whole lot of good. Doesn't kill you, but doesn't do you a whole lot of good.
No.
Moving down to the Falcons, though, Matty Ice. 317 yards on 26 of 35. 1 touchdown. 16.8 fantasy points. Now, one reason he got 1 touchdown because Sanu threw for the other touchdown, who had a perfect 1 of 1, 51-yard bomb to Julio Jones.
That was dirty, dude. That was dirty.
Along with the other stuff, he also had 8 of 64, which boosted up his fantasy points even more. So he played very well. He got you what you needed for points. 20.4 for Mohamed Sanu, Julio Jones, however, had 50.8 fantasy points, 12 receptions on 15 targets, 253 yards, 2 touchdowns. The only player ever in NFL history to have 3 250-yard games in his career. Ever.
Look. He deserves every bit of that.
Legend.
He's a humble dude. He's respectful. He deserves
Legend.
it. Deserves it.
I was watching somebody earlier today in the NFL that I really appreciate. Oh, Thomas New actually is who it was. Watching him in an interview, he's so mature, just level-headed, and just out there to play some ball. You know what I'm saying? Smart man. I appreciate him. Tevin Coleman also balled out, 97 yards, 2 rushing TDs. Yeah, it's what you like to see. It's what you expected. 19 carries, 5.1 yards per carry. So balling. Dang, we did our 8 games already. Quick run through. Quick 1-2. You like that? That's what we do. That's how we make moves on the podcast. Ooh. Bars on me. Are we kicking on free? We're doing this thing. We're gonna put it on TV. Man. We some average Joes. Oh, we don't care. We still get a flow. At the top of the dome. We in my home. Giving you the fantasy advice to get you the win. Just something like to end this. Something like to put a cap on it. I was thinking we could do one more game, but what we got? We did 8. Or do we do 7?
No, we got one more.
Yeah,
we got one more. But hey, it's alright. We can throw a little freestyle in there.
Whatever.
We miss you guys.
Yeah, one more.
We miss you guys because of the holidays. And whatnot,
Yeah. So, here we go. Cleveland, Cincy. Here we go. Deshaun Kaiser.
Wow.
Actually, it was fantasy relevant. 268 passing yards, 39 rushing yards, 1 touchdown, 20.6 fantasy points.
After last week, he only had like 2 fantasy points, something like that. So he's changing it. I think there's just
nothing else to lose.
It's true, and also they're getting a little excited. There was some news today saying that Josh Gordon will probably start. Most likely will start Sunday.
He's coming back to play is basically what he's saying now.
Yeah. So look at that and see what happens. They said they're gonna use him a lot, so we'll see.
Might as well, because they can basically get rid of him. So after this, so might as well just burn them up, see what they got in them.
So
now,
Isaiah Crowell?
11.5 fantasy points.
Yeah.
95 rushing yards, 1 reception for 10 yards. He's been running better. It has been happening. Since the offense has been moving, he's been moving a little bit more. Actually finding some space. So he had 5.9 yards per carry on this one, 16 attempts. So good for him. Duke Johnson, always getting his catches, always getting involved. 4 receptions, 32 yards, and 35 rushing yards. 10.7 fantasy points. Doing him, you know what I'm saying? Doing him.
Oh, yeah.
Corey Coleman, 364, so he's getting worked back into it. He had 8 targets, so they get more in sync. Things can start happening for Corey Coleman as well.
That would be good.
Everybody else no one really cares about. David Njoku, 447, doing what tight end 2s do, which is basically nothing. Now, Andy Dalton, 214 passing yards, 2 TDs, 26 rushing yards. Good solid performance, 19.2 fantasy points. Bam, bam, bam.
So, tell me, why are you so excited about that?
I'm just excited because it was a good pickup for me. Now, moving on to Joe Mixon. 114 rush yards, 1 rushing touchdown, 3 receptions on 3 targets, 51 receiving yards. Finally, the Joe Mixon everybody was talking about. Finally, the Joe Mixon that everybody expected. I know I had to come against Cleveland, but maybe this is the confidence game that everybody needs.
Yep.
And they do have a good run defense, so here it is. Could be the start, could be the stop. We don't know yet.
Don't know? We'll have to wait.
Only next week will tell, baby.
Yep.
Only next week will tell.
And sorry but not sorry, Jake. You shouldn't have put him on your bench.
Although you had all the reason to.
True, but it is Cleveland. You're going to put people in against Cleveland. So.
Pretty good reason to. I'll give him a pass.
Yeah, don't be so light. Tyler Croft helped you out. I had him on my bench though, so that kind of contradicts to what I just said. So, Tyler Croft got you 3 4, 14 yards and 1 touchdown.
Say it with the chest, little ass. Say it with the chest.
Got you 10.5 fantasy
Whoa, boy.
That's what happened. And I put him on my bench.
Yeah, so who are you talking to?
Myself.
Yeah, good. Listen to your own advice, please. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. AJ Green, though, 5 for 68. Didn't really need to do the passing game too much. Running game was working pretty well for the most part. Andy Dalton was playing some good football, so spreading it around. It just is what it is, you know?
It is what it is, you know?
It is.
Oh, and the Bengals defense helped a little bit. Got 4 sacks. So, give you...
Didn't help Corey enough.
No, but 4 sacks helps.
Watch, all 4 of my players.
Bullock.
All 4 of my players get 0 points.
Randy Bullock did help, though.
12 points, yep.
Gave you
good, great, fantastic. We did it, Scott. We did it. We made it through. Well, second, back. I was on vacation. We only did 1 podcast last week. Went to California. Beautiful. Go see the sequoia trees. Go see Kings, whatever.
Go to my hometown. If you ever go.
Kings Canyon National Park.
If you go to California, also go to my hometown.
Do not stay in Visalia. That place is dirty. Sorry, Visalia, throw you under the bus. A little dirty. A little pollution here. They didn't really like it. They didn't really enjoy it. It was not good.
Some part of
I'm pretty sure part of my lung fell off. It's just floating around my body right now.
Ugh.
Not good. But we love y'all. Welcome back. We are out of here. What?
Hello and welcome to another episode of Average Joe's Fantasy Sports Podcast. We're back at it again. We are your lovely hosts. You got Corey right here in this goat jersey.
Yeah. I'm Jared. Y'all know.
And I'm Scott. Y'all know me.
Yeah, maybe.
And we're back at it this time to talk to y'all about injury notes, news, fantasy types. We'll even tell you basically guards, defensive players. I know it doesn't seem relevant, but it will be because